Something as simple as how you wash your vegetables could be one of the most important health decisions you make every single day. And most people skip it entirely. When you come home from the grocery store with fresh produce, before you do anything else, wash it. Take a large metal mixing bowl, fill it with cold water, place your fruits and vegetables inside, and let cold, running water flow over everything for a minimum of 60 seconds. Don't pack the bowl too full. You want the water moving freely around each piece. What you see lifting off the surface of your food is a combination of soil, handling residue, and contamination accumulated across an entire journey, from the farm where it was harvested, through packing facilities, onto cargo trucks and shipping containers, into the back of a warehouse, and finally onto the store shelf where you picked it up. Even food from a local farmer's market carries surface residue you genuinely don't want to consume. 60 seconds under cold running water removes the vast majority of it, and according to USDA guidance, this same process eliminates most surface bacteria as well. Here's something worth sitting with. By the time food reaches your plate, it has almost certainly had contact with plastic at multiple points along the way. Washing is your opportunity to remove what you still can before it enters your body. And beyond washing, the next step is reducing how much additional plastic contact your food has from that point forward. Start at the grocery store itself. Skip the thin plastic produce bags and replace them with reusable cloth bags you bring from home. It's a small switch that costs almost nothing, reduces unnecessary plastic waste, and keeps one more layer of plastic away from the food your family eats. At home, take a look at your food storage. Plastic containers have been a kitchen staple for generations. Convenient, lightweight, affordable, easy to stack. But we now know that plastic food storage containers leach microplastic particles directly into whatever food is stored inside them. The solution is straightforward. Switch to glass or metal containers for storing food. A glass bowl with a plastic lid is perfectly fine as long as the plastic cover isn't touching the food itself. For thin-skinned produce like apples, cucumbers, or pears, use a soft, natural bristle brush. Bamboo-handled brushes work well. Scrub the skin gently under running water, and then dry everything with a clean cotton towel. Not a synthetic microfiber cloth, a real cotton towel. It's the kind of habit our grandparents practiced without thinking twice, back when plastic simply wasn't part of the picture. And while you're reconsidering the kitchen, look at your cookware and utensils. Cooking with a plastic spatula means that every time heat and friction meet plastic, particles are entering your food. Switch to wooden or metal utensils. It's a simple replacement that permanently removes one ongoing source of exposure. Now, it is important to be honest about one reality. Complete avoidance of microplastics is not possible. We don't just ingest them through food, we inhale them. Tire rubber fragmenting off road surfaces has been identified as one of the single largest sources of airborne microplastic pollution, and those particles are suspended in the air in cities, suburbs, and rural areas alike. Every breath contains some level of microplastic exposure. That is not a reason for panic. It is a reason to be deliberate about every reduction you can make, because every step you take in how you shop, how you wash your food, how you store it, how you cook it, lowers your cumulative burden. And cumulative burden, reduced consistently over years and decades, is where real health outcomes are determined. Now here is where the science delivers something genuinely hopeful. Researchers have been working not just on how to avoid microplastics, but on how the body can actually eliminate the ones already consumed. And the most compelling answer emerging from that research is something that should already be a cornerstone of your daily diet. It is dietary fiber. Dietary fiber has always been recognized as essential for good health. It keeps digestion regular. More significantly, it nourishes the trillions of beneficial bacteria that live in your gut. And when those bacteria are properly fed, they produce compounds called short-chain fatty acids that enter your bloodstream and deliver a cascade of benefits: reduced inflammation throughout the body, improved brain function, better metabolic health, and faster tissue repair. Those are powerful enough reasons on their own to eat more fiber every single day. Fiber also lowers cholesterol. And now, new research out of Hainan University in China has revealed yet another reason. Dietary fiber can actively help the body flush out microplastics. This happens through three separate and distinct mechanisms. And understanding all three helps explain why fiber is so uniquely powerful in this context. The first mechanism is direct binding. When you eat food containing dietary fiber alongside food that contains microplastic particles, which given how widespread plastic contamination is most meals, the fiber physically attaches to the microplastic particles inside your digestive tract. Rather than those particles being absorbed through the gut wall into your bloodstream, they bind to the fiber and get carried through the system until they are eliminated. Your body essentially uses the fiber as a vehicle to escort the plastic out. The second mechanism is structural. Your gastrointestinal tract is roughly 40 feet of continuous tubing connecting your mouth to the end of your digestive system. The lining of that tube is your primary barrier between what you've consumed and your internal body. When that lining is compromised, a condition widely recognized now as leaky gut, which turns out to be far more common than the medical community once acknowledged, particles that should stay inside the digestive tract, including microplastics, can slip through the gaps and enter the bloodstream directly. Dietary fiber strengthens and tightens that gut lining. It reduces permeability. It closes the gaps. A stronger gut lining means microplastics have far fewer opportunities to escape into circulation. The third mechanism works through the microbiome itself. The bacteria that fiber feeds don't just improve digestion, they actively help the body manage the inflammatory damage that microplastics cause. Plastic particles that do reach the bloodstream trigger an inflammatory response. Well-nourished gut bacteria counteract that inflammation by releasing short-chain fatty acids and other protective compounds. So even in the scenario where some microplastics do make it through, your microbiome, when properly supported by fiber, is working to neutralize the harm. Fiber blocks absorption, strengthens the barrier, and arms your gut bacteria to fight back. 3 layers of protection from a single dietary choice. So what does this look like practically in your daily life? Build your diet around fiber-rich whole foods and deliberately vary your sources. Fruits and vegetables are the foundation. Mushrooms contain fiber that feeds specific strains of beneficial gut bacteria. Avocados are one of the most fiber-dense foods available. Legumes, white beans, black beans, kidney beans, chickpeas, lentils are among the richest sources of dietary fiber on the planet and should be eaten regularly. Whole grains provide fiber alongside a broad spectrum of other nutrients. Tree nuts, walnuts, almonds, pecans, pistachios, macadamia nuts, Brazil nuts, all deliver meaningful fiber along with healthy fats and other protective compounds. Pay special attention to soluble fiber, which is particularly effective at binding to toxins and microplastics inside the gut. Oats, flax seeds, lentils, and apples are excellent sources. And here's something most people have never heard. Day-old rice and baked potatoes that have been refrigerated after cooking undergo a chemical transformation. The regular starch converts into what is called resistant starch, which behaves like soluble fiber in the gut, feeding beneficial bacteria and binding to toxins with particular efficiency. A small change in how you handle leftovers can meaningfully increase the protective fiber content of meals you're already eating. Pair your fiber intake with proper hydration. The body is composed of between 50 and 70% water, and fiber does its best protective work when there is sufficient fluid moving through the digestive system. Without adequate hydration, the digestive tract slows down and fiber becomes less effective at doing its job. Use a water filter to ensure the water you drink is clean and free of additional contaminants. Think of water and fiber as partners. Neither works as well without the other. One more point on variety. Your gut bacteria do not thrive on monotony. They need diverse types of fiber from diverse food sources to develop into a robust, resilient microbial community. Eating the same fiber source every day will support some bacterial strains while leaving others underfed. Rotate your fiber sources, different grains, different legumes, different fruits, different vegetables, and your microbiome will reward you with broader, stronger protective capacity. There is one additional layer of protection worth mentioning, particularly when it comes to heavy metals: cadmium, lead, arsenic, mercury, which can be present in drinking water. Steeping tea, whether black tea, loose leaf, powdered, or bagged in a natural cellulose bag, has been shown to bind heavy metals directly, drawing them out of the water as the tea steeps. Beyond that, the polyphenols in tea are among the most studied bioactive compounds in nutritional science. They lower systemic inflammation, support brain health, improve metabolic function, benefit the gut microbiome, and have been shown to interfere with the blood supply that abnormal cells depend on to grow. Drinking tea daily addresses multiple threats simultaneously with a single, simple habit. The reality of living in a world saturated with microplastics can feel overwhelming. These particles are in the food we eat, the water we drink, and the air we breathe. There is no perfect solution and no complete escape. But there is a meaningful, evidence-based path forward, one built from deliberate daily habits that reduce exposure, strengthen the body's own elimination systems, and equip your gut microbiome to defend you from the damage that does get through. Wash your produce thoroughly. Store food in glass and metal. Replace plastic utensils. Eat more fiber from more diverse sources. Stay hydrated. Drink tea. None of these steps are difficult. None of them are expensive. And practiced consistently over time, they represent the most powerful tools currently available to protect your body from one of the defining environmental health challenges of our era.